Hey guys, welcome back to Puffet Lauda. So we are going to continue with our story here. Kazuma just told us that he doesn't want us anymore because we drank the water of life. And I'm kind of happy about that because I don't want to be dating him anyway. So yeah, see you later. We're just gonna get started. I already read this. Meaning, other demons would cease to pursue me?
人間同士の戦もじきに終わるでしょう。新政府軍は幕府軍の残党を見逃すつもりはありません。東北諸藩は抵抗を続けるようですが、戦いの結末は明らかです。
我々はもう薩摩藩への義理を果たした。こうして貴様らの前に姿を現すことももうあるまい。
So you don't have to find a wife now, right? You're free. Woohoo. With that, Kazuma turned his back, dismissing me with aplomb. Aplomb? What the hell does that mean? Oh well. He said nothing more as he sauntered away. A great feeling of relief came over me as the fury power subsided. I was certain that we would be facing our deaths, yet somehow we managed to survive. Okita looked utterly drained, on the other hand, as if his spirit was ripped from his body. Okita? I timidly called out his name. His voice quivered. Oh, he's crying! Oh no! Oh no, my baby boy! It's okay!
近藤さんは今日にいる間ずっと幕府や将軍校今日の人たちのために働いてたのに罪人として殺された挙句首をさらされるなんて話すないよ。
Oh. Okita was hoping it was all a cruel farce, desperately clinging to the hope that Kazuma was lying. And behind his quivering voice were tears waiting to flood his glossy eyes. The truth was difficult to accept, and Okita wasn't equipped to handle what all of it meant. Okita, what could I say? I could only repeat his name. His gaze was fixed on the floor, and he quickly grabbed a hold of me. Oh my god. Picture get? Oh no! Okita buried his face into my lap as he sobbed frantically. The realization that he had lost the closest thing he had to a father was sinking in, and his cries of mourning tore me apart. Oh no!
あんなに強くて優しくて誰よりも幕府のことを考えてた人なのに僕近藤さんにあんなに優しくしてもらったのに
Oh.
全然恩返しをしてないのにそれなのにどうしてこんなに早く死んじゃうんだよ
I could hardly hear him towards the end of his lamentation, as his voice became muffled in my lap. There was nothing I could say. All I could do was comfort him in this fragile state, holding him and contemplating what was to come. Oh, this poor guy. Oh my god. How long we sat there embracing one another in grief. I noticed that towards the east, the sky was filled with cloud patterns, a foreboding sign to say the least. Are you doing all right? I broke the silence, and Okita looked up at me with puffy, sheepish eyes. Sheepish?
後追い自殺でもするんじゃないかと思ってる。
Of course I am!
平気だよ。そんなことはしない。そうしたいのは山々だけどね。
He tried to play it off as a joke, but I knew that there was a hint of truth embedded in his joke. Okita, what do we do now? For a moment, Okita stroked his chin in thought. He glanced up towards the expanse of the sky.
新選組を土方さんを追いかける。
Oh god. What? His answer took me by complete surprise. What do you plan on doing? Once you reach Hijikata, I mean. I was suddenly thrust back into the memory of what Kondo had been shot in the shoulder, and all of us were gravely concerned. I remember what Okita said back then. If anything were to threaten Kondo's life, Okita would hold Hijikata responsible and kill him. Was Okita planning on keeping that promise? Okita, I think I know what you're planning, but what happened today wasn't Hijikata's doing. You know that. I'm sure Hijikata had no desire to let Kondo be executed, so please.
知ってるよ。それぐらい。
Okita sought to dismiss my concerns immediately. It was, to me, a tone foreign to Okita. It was one that was completely different to the aggressive, vengeful mood when Kondo was first wounded, or even when Kazuma had revealed his death. I got the sense that it was indifference that guided him now, and his calmness was a coping method.
だけど、このままじゃ踏ん切りがつかない。今のままだと、戦うどころか、前に進むことすらできそうにないんだ。
I was afraid he would soon let his anger consume him once more, and that he'd seek to kill Hijikata after all. Then, I'll go with you.
君も一族の里に行かなきゃならないんじゃないの？
That can wait. I don't feel comfortable leaving you alone right now. Okita stared blankly at me for a moment, but eventually...
わかった。それじゃあ、
Yeah.
一緒に行こうか。
This is ride or die, you know? I'm in this. He clasped my hand and together we rose. Oh my god. Oh my god, him crying was so sad. I'm so sad. Chapter 3, May 1868. This is the picture that we're gonna see. We're gonna see some trees, that's it. We departed Ito with the intention of following wherever Hijikata led our remaining comrades. We gathered word that the Shinsengumi had regrouped with the Denshu company en route to Nikko. Nikko! Hey, Nikko, my cousin! Oh, just kidding. That's GTA. Anyways, from what I understood, the Denshu company was comprised of the formal Imperial Army men who were well versed with the Western tactics and armaments? Okita and I took refuge in the depths of the forest paths during the afternoons to avoid the harsh sunlight. Right.
ちょっと待ってて。眠るのにちょうど良さそうな場所を探してくる。
Wow, I'm really slumming it, sleeping in the trees and the grass. Oh?
どうしたの？
Nothing.
そう。それならいいけど。それじゃ、いい子で留守番してるんだよ。
I sound like a pet. With that said, Okita continued stepping through the brush to find a suitable resting place. I refrained from mentioning anything about it, but I noticed that the sword on his hips wasn't the one he usually used. Rather, it was the sword named the Yamashiro no Kami Fujiwara Kunikyo, which he received as a personal gift from Kodo. Did I even say that right? Yamashiro no Kami. Yeah, Yamashiro no Kami? Wow, that's a long name. If he were wielding that sword on our trip to locate Hijikata, it signified how personally he regarded this request. Or this quest. I wondered to myself if everything would be okay. If something were to provoke Okita into a furious rage, would I have any chance of stopping him? I could only tend to these thoughts in silence, and I peeked up to watch the moon slowly descend into the horizon amidst the breaking of a new dawn. It's not gonna show where we rested? Oh, Okita found a quaint area underneath an old soaring tree, and we tried to make ourselves comfortable when... What the fuck? I heard the distant yowl of a yobiku as soldiers screamed from afar. A whistle? Why did they have to make it so complicated? Okita! We had been spotted by a roaming troop of Imperial forces who were approaching us rapidly. The minute we were forced to leave the refuge of the shade, I felt an immediate queasiness. Oh, Jesus. Okita muttered smugly to himself before unsheathing his mighty sword from the scabbard on his hips. Okita, I knew he was still in a relatively unstable state. Activating his fury powers was a huge risk.
大丈夫だよ。
It's
あの程度の
fine.
相手ならすぐに片付けてみせるから。君は木陰にでも隠れてて。いいって言うまで出てきちゃダメだよ。
You better not fucking die. No. Before now, I would have normally nodded and obeyed his orders without question. But now, I'm going to fight beside you. I unsheathed my kodachi.
戦うって。君が
I'm better than you at this point. Yeah, it's not as if they're demons. I'm sure I'll be able to manage myself. If we fight together, that means we'll be rid of them even faster, right? I refuse to let you be the only one to put yourself in harm's way. On the day we encountered Kazuma, I recalled feeling an overwhelming sense of power coming from within in order to fend him off. If I can just harness those powers once more.
まったくもう。どうなっても知らないよ。
Wow, you're so casual about it. Okita sighed. I heard another whistle, and this time the sound came from a closer vicinity than before.
だぞこっちだ
Ugh. Wow, guns! Before we knew it, the Imperial Army troops emerged from the bush and had us surrounded.
早く片付けるに越したことはないよね。こんなところで足止めを食うわけにはいか
Am
な
I
い
that
し。
good of a fighter that I can, like, fight people with a gun? Right.
それじゃ行こうか。千鶴ちゃん。
I nodded at Okita, and together we charged.
撃て
Oh my Jesus Christ! The soldiers all had their rifles pointed straight at us, and their leader gestured them all to shoot.
バカだな。撃たせるわけないでしょ。
Okita closed the distance between himself and the enemy in a span of a second. It was almost impossible to believe. Am I just standing here watching them? He was moving at a superhuman pace, slicing through the soldiers' limbs in the blink of an eye.
己仲間を
Okay. The soldier raised his rifle to fire another round at Okita, but he was...
遅いよ。
Okita kicked against the ground, leaping high above the soldier whose draw was no match for Okita's. Well, you are dead. You are very dead. He scarcely had time to flinch, let alone dodge. The soldier's blood splattered onto a nearby tree.
相手にならないね。
I shivered watching his sadistic display of sword mastery. How many soldiers are there? With impeccable precision, he wove through the soldiers' formation and slayed 2 men in one movement. That was 4 movements.
ひるむな撃て
Oh god. The soldier, who became the highest ranking officer amongst his slain comrades, signaled his men to shoot. Just then, one of the bullets pierced through my calf.
千鶴ちゃん。
Blood began seeping into my clothes. I nearly toppled over from the searing pain, which was burning intensely from the wound on the spot. Or, the spot of the wound. Wow, I can't read. In almost no time, the bullet hole began to close. I'm okay! This is nothing. I didn't want to worry Okita. I took deep breaths and I stood tall. I caught a nearby soldier off guard and drove my kodachi through his heart. His rifle fell from his hands, clinging to the floor. Okita instinctively kicked the rifle off to the side, winking at me for killing the soldier. Suddenly,
貴様
the high-ranking officer pointed his rifle straight towards me, catching me from behind, but it was for naught.
よそ見してる余裕なんてあるわけ？あんたたちの相手は僕なんだけど。
Well, he's dead. Okita barked loudly to capture the attention of the remaining soldiers before moving to slash at each one of them, one by one. Oh god. Every time one would raise their rifle, it was hopeless, and Okita would close the difference before splitting them open with his katana. As soon as he slain all the soldiers in our vicinity, Okita shouted out at me.
千鶴ちゃん、あんまり前に出過ぎないで。足手まといってほどじゃないけど。それでも君は一人で戦えるほどの腕前じゃ
So
ないんだ。
rude! I'm trying my best, I just got shot! Okay.
君は人を切ったりなんてしなくていい。自分の身を守ることだけ考えて。
Even if it meant my Kodachi would have to draw blood, I wanted so badly to fight again alongside Okita. It's not like I wanted to get myself killed.
返事は
But I could respect that it was Okita's way of conveying his concern, unusual as it may seem. Okay, I understand. I nodded. Just then.
貴様らが話に聞いた新選組の羅刹か。ならば
Oh no. A rustle came from behind us. We saw an Imperial captain quickly loading peculiar-looking bullets into his gun. Were they silver bullets? Okita, duck! I screamed Okita's names in hopes of alerting him. Then suddenly, a kunai knife was flung from out of nowhere, landing in the captain's neck. It cut straight through his carotid artery, and he fell to the ground. This knife, it must have come from...
お二人ともご無事でしたか
That voice! It's...
山崎君
Hey!
生きてたんだ
You're the best, Yamazaki.
甲府の戦いの時以来姿が見えなかったからてっきり死んじゃったんだと思ってたのに
何者だ貴様も新選組の者か
しんがりは俺が務めますお二人ともどうかご無事で千鶴ちゃんこっちへ
Okita glanced at me and spoke curtly, gesturing for the two of us to sprint down the mountain path. After he gave the go-ahead, I ran right after him.
逃がすな撃て
Okay. A row of Imperial reinforcements got into a formation at the mouth of the path to fire their rifles, but luckily we proved difficult targets to hit amidst the thick brush of trees.
どこを見ているお前たちの相手はこの俺だ
Yeah! Yamazaki leapt from branch to branch, narrowly avoiding fire as he threw more kunai knives, but then... I heard what I thought was Yamazaki's pained groan behind us, and I instinctively stopped running. Yamazaki, however, attempted to brush it off.
足を止めないでくださいそのまま走って
I used his words as motivation, fighting back tears as we distance ourselves from the fracas. What are these words? Is he dead? Did he just fucking die for us? Before I had realized it, the sun had finally set, producing brilliant orange hues that shined from the west.
とりあえずなんとか逃げおおせたかな
We paused for a moment to listen if there were any enemies marching towards us on the trail. It seemed as though we had in fact lost them.
にしてもこの怪我で走り続けるなんてね、山崎君落ち水も飲んでない
Oh,
のに
he's alive, thank
無茶し
God.
すぎじゃない俺はこんなところで死ぬわけには
Oh.
いきませんから
Yamazaki, let me see your wounds. Yamazaki walked over to me gingerly, and I was careful to peel open his clothing that was soaked in blood. This doesn't look good. I couldn't help but worry aloud. By some stroke of divine luck, any bullets that landed pierced straight through the flesh, a small source of comfort if any could be taken. But even so, the wound under his ribcage hadn't clotted, so it required my immediate attention. But here, after I finished applying some first aid, Okita immediately jumped into a line of questioning.
どうして山崎君がここにいるの僕たちが敵に取り囲まれてる時にちょうど駆けつけるなんていくらなんでも間が良すぎない
Yamazaki looked down for a minute, pausing to choose his words carefully as he stroked his chin.
甲府城付近であなた方と別れた後俺は新選組の本陣に合流しましたここ数日は新政府側の動向を探るため本体を離れていたのですが
So it was a coincidence that you bumped into us? Yamazaki's eyes thinned.
君たちを見つけたのは数日前だ
What? Why would you wait until now?
声をかけることができなかったんだ局長のことは聞いているな
I nodded.
なるほど僕を土方さんに会わせたくなかったってこと僕が あの人を殺しちゃうかもしれないから。
I mean, you are a little cuckoo bananas. And we're going to stop here. Oh my god, I hope Yamazaki lives, because he literally just saved us from being shot. And I would be really fucking sad if he dies. So please, just don't add any more sadness to this game. Like, what? I feel like the people who made this game must be so sadistic. They're like, you're gonna fall in love, and then the person you're gonna fall in love with is gonna have tuberculosis. And then he's gonna almost die, so he's gonna drink this thing that you think cures his tuberculosis. But actually, he's gonna still have tuberculosis. And then, the person that he always thought was his father figure in life is gonna die and be beheaded, and then have his head shown to everyone as him being a criminal, and then the person who saved your ass from being killed is gonna die. Like, I feel like that's exactly how this is gonna go. Like, you just can't grow attached to any of these characters because all of them are gonna fucking die. Like, whatever. I'm sorry. End rant. Let's just next time we'll talk more to Yamazaki and hope that he survives.